Hi everyone, it is Thursday evening here in Kuala Lumpur, so time for another video because inspiration strikes. And I wanted to kind of build on the video of the last one where I was talking about creativity. And I want to talk about where creativity can lead you because what actually has ended up happening sometimes in my life, in my experience, is you get this incredible anxiety. And this anxiety is around I think in many ways your creative potential, because obviously there's many different kinds of anxiety, right? So I just want to talk about one of them. And that is this sort of sense of, which is so common today in many Gen Y, and actually to be honest, I think everyone, but most acute in the sort of Gen Y generation, of how do I realize my potential? These phrases like be the best version of yourself every day. And man, that just gets exhausting, right? Like you're constantly trying to perfect yourself, to create yourself. You're constantly making yourself. And that's something that I used to heavily subscribe to. There's a great Incubus song with a band called Make Yourself, which I used to love. And there's also another great song from an unusual partnership between Papa Roach and Black Eyed Peas called Anxiety. Great song. You should check it out. And in this song, one of the key lines is the insane and sane rivalry. And they really talk about this tension between, from what I interpret, of the creative tension of seeking to create, but the anxiety of have I created enough? Am I enough? And really, I think where that leads you to is identity, right? Who actually am I? Because if we're going out, then we're realizing our potential every day and we're becoming more, being the best version of ourselves every single day. When do we arrive? When do we become this version of ourselves? When do we get to chill out and just not realize our potential every day, right? When do we just get to just to have fun and get loose and be happy? And it turns out if you're not paying attention, from my experience, you don't. You're always anxious. You're always anxious about doing something else, right? You never turn off. You're always thinking about the next thing that you should be doing or what you could have done, or you're feeling FOMO, or there's always an or, right? That's the point. There's never this grounded sense of peace. And so I guess what that has really led me to, I've struggled with that. I think, desire and drive to be who I want to become who I want to become. And what I've realized through the help of some great people in my life is that ultimately you're grounded in your own truth. You are your own end and reward, right? And it's one thing to like, yeah, I know that, but it's about practice. It's not just about knowledge, it's about understanding, putting it into practice, and then being wise about it, applying it in a way that brings joy into your life. Like the ultimate culmination should be joy. It's almost like joy is our natural state, and we fall away from joy because we try and chase things. And so that's why, in my last video, we go into the void, right? We try and become more, grow more. We want to have more joy. But if we're only chasing growth, we never stay grounded in what we are. And so I think what I wanted to kind of share is this connection between the anxiety to become more is coupled deeply to your identity, this sense of existential crisis. Who do you really want to be? What do you really want to become? And will you ever allow yourself to get there? What does getting there even mean? What does that look like? Who are you then? Are you there now? Will you be there? There's that like, I'll get one more business deal, I'll get one more client, I'll get one more promotion, I'll get one more house, car, whatever, right? There's a sense of, we tell ourselves these stories of we will arrive one day, but actually we're just sabotaging ourselves and our own happiness because we never allow ourselves. And what's happened is we've lost control of ourselves, lost control of our identity. We are chasing something which is, noble and aspirational in the sense that we're finding the courage to become more, but we become trapped in the pattern of always trying to become more. We're always trying to be someone greater, and we fail to have the courage to look at ourselves and be able to say, I am worthy, I am enough. We are so comfortable with being uncomfortable, so to say. And this is what I think is the state for many people today, myself included. I am definitely putting myself under this this category of someone who experiences often deep anxiety because they want to keep creating and finds it difficult to say to themselves, I am enough and I am worthy. I have achieved. Now, it's not about ego. It's not about saying you're better. It's nothing to do with that. It's just about finding a grounded place to breathe and say, this is great. This is who I want to be, and just allow that joy to come in. because that's what life is about, right? That simple joy. So I'm about to hop on a plane, fly halfway around the world to see some great friends. So I'll leave you with that thought that ultimately don't fall into the anxiety, right? The anxiety is just one mechanism that we use, that we experience because we're trying to create something, create our lives, create an identity for ourselves. We have to be able to turn around and say, I am enough and this is enough. And when we do that, we will find the joy that we seek because it lies within. Everything is already present. We just have to open ourselves to embrace it. All right. Have a great evening. Bye.